Attorney General in California. Thank you so much for joining us, giving us a chance to know you a little better. You are the daughter of an African-American father and an Indian mother. Was there a time that you struggled growing up with identity issues?
Oh, not once. I was raised by parents and a community that, was very active in the civil rights movement. In fact, that's how my parents met. My sister and I joke we grew up surrounded by adults who spent full time marching and shouting.
All right, real quick. I thought this was going to take some time. I thought that maybe a year from now where she popped off and she elevated her career, but apparently it's already popping off now. I did a video about Kamala Harris. Let's talk about her. But shout out to Mace Jackson. He posted this comment on Facebook. He's a political commentator in Chicago, a free-thinking Negro, as I call him. But he asked a question in his post: is Kamala Harris black or just looks that way? Her husband isn't. And the first comment was interesting to me because this is from a female who I alluded to in my videos before. She's a dating coach, and she has been very vocal in the past about black love and this and that. She was even critical of Nate Parker and Birth of Nation. She was one of the black women who were not a part of Black Shea Butter Twitter, she's not a black feminist, who was very critical of Nate Parker and Birth of Nation. And she said she boycotted in this comment section specifically because she felt like he was not one of us, and that, you know, she felt like he was just using this black story to make money, blah blah blah. So she was one of those people. But my point is she's proven my point. Well, one of the points that I made in my last video, somebody asked what was the point of this video, and there's a list of things. One was that Kamala Harris would get a pass that Barack Obama couldn't, being that they're both biracial. They actually look, they could be brother and sister too. They look a lot alike. But, you know, Barack Obama having a black wife and 75% black children helped him politically, whereas Kamala Harris having a white husband, and from what I see, it seems like she doesn't have any children, but that's not going to hurt her. That's not going to, her blackness or her half blackness will not be attacked, being that she has a white husband. But I just found it interesting that some of the silly things that people are saying on Maze's Facebook posts. People are saying she's a sister. Another one saying she's a Delta, but she's not a Delta actually. I think she's a Kappa. But people are saying because she pledged in that fraternity, she's black. People are saying, well, her father's Jamaican and she's Hindu, her mom's Hindu. You know, the whole, she's black, you know, the one drop rule stuff. So it's just interesting seeing how everybody is going in on the whole she's black thing. And apparently we didn't learn our lesson from Barack Obama, you know, just having, you know, one black parent, or, you know, especially a black parent you never knew, does not automatically make you black. This is the comment too from the chick I was talking about. She said, I boycotted because I felt that Nate Parker's he's not one of us. I felt like he was taking advantage of the movement to make money. Now I think black film named one white woman who has a negative character like expected. Nate Parker portrayed slave-owning white women as empathetic people who were treated as slaves well. Think about it, that's not the case in the movie. A slave owner is a slave owner. Like, there's no empathetic part about it. The funny thing about it, in Nat Turner's real story, his first slave owner, they were not as harsh as his second. See, he was one of those people who, he wasn't treated bad. He was treated different. Possibly was treated like a house Negro, according to Bill Maher. And it was when his family went broke and he got sent to another family. That's when he got a slave owner who didn't give him the privileges. They didn't let him read or write and all that stuff, and they wanted to use him to pacify other slaves. So as much as you don't like the imagery of this family was less harsh than the other, that actually is what actually really happened. But people are caught up in those semantics, whatever. But anyways, another brother who writes movies pointed out that, you know, a lot of sisters did boycott him for that specific reason. But it was just, she kind of proving my point though, right? Again, a person asked what was the point of this video. One point was to show you that Kamala Harris will have a pass that Barack Obama couldn't get. Another point is that black people are going to get behind her and are supporting her without even doing their research and looking at her receipts. I mean, the reality is black people love imagery over implementation. And her being up there in those panels and the little clips of her being with a light-skinned girl Magic trying to come at Jeff Sessions and all the other people in these hearings, that's enough for them to say, I want to support her. but they're not looking at, okay, what did she do when she was in California? What did she do in San Francisco? When you look at the black condition in that situation, especially in San Francisco, where it's pretty much black people have been pushed out with policy and politically that way, and her focus and what she's known for is illegal immigration, which does not benefit black people. So it's like, again, we're not doing our research. We're caught up in, oh, she's this Sigma, her last name is Harris, she's half black, her father's Jamaican. We caught up in all that stuff, but we're not looking at her receipts. And from what I say, the love that black people are giving to her, it doesn't seem like she's giving it back, and her being in the position she's had. And again, that's just stupidity. That was the point of that video. But this point of the video is to show that it's not even taking long for people to fall for it, and they're all on her bandwagon, and they're all getting behind her. And the chick who I mentioned, who, again, she's not like, I would call her a free-thinking black person too. She doesn't hop on the Democratic trail. To me, she does seem to be more open to whatever works, whatever policy is going to fix the situation. I'm going to support it. No permanent friends, no permanent enemies, it's permanent interests. She does have that. But I just find it funny how she's been very critical of black men with non-black wives, but she's sympathetic to black women in that situation. And she's making arguments lately about, like, again, I waited for her situation. I waited for her response to see what was going to happen with the Serena Williams and Sohania thing, because, again, she was very vocal against black men. I alluded to her in one of my videos. I said that about the situation with Byron Allen. I said, she specifically asked, well, if it's one person you can meet to be a thought leader in the community, who would it be? And I knew she wasn't for this whole black man, black wife thing. So I said, specifically, to make a point, I would pick Byron Allen, because I was like, one of our problems is we don't control our own images in the media. Promotion is a problem, and he's one of the people who's at the forefront of fighting for black media, right? He's suing the federal government on behalf of black media as a whole. Does he benefit from it? Absolutely. That's how this thing works. People don't do things for the kindness of the heart. There needs to be an incentive. So he wins, and so does black media. And the reality is, in these spaces, when you look at Shea Butter, Twitter, Black Feminists, The Grill, The Root, Ebony, Essence, those are all black media outlets that black men don't even have a space in. So what he's fighting for, in reality, is going to benefit black women more than it'll benefit black men, because black men aren't in a position, nor do we have outlets that cater to our interests. But never mind, that's a different conversation. But I was waiting to see what she was going to say about Serena and and she went with the whole, basically, that black men need to step their game up so that women like Serena don't have to hop the fence. And one of her arguments in defense of Kamala Harris was, well, there are not a lot of black, professional black men, so why are you attacking her blackness because she has a white husband? That's the argument she's going with, and it's kind of contradicting. Now, she did say she opened her mind on the whole black women need to find options. Again, she's coming from the frame of a dating coach, and she does, she hooks people up for a living. That's her job. And she probably knows what she sees and what the complaints she gets from other women and things of that nature. But it is funny. I even said something in one of her, when she made that declaration that I've changed my mind and I'm open up and sisters need to open their options and whatnot. I said specifically in that post, I'm like, well, if a black dating coach said exactly what you just said, he would get heat, right? And I'm just pointing out that there's a difference. Like, it's not that hard to acknowledge it. These women want to play semantics and say, well, why her and another female said, well, why would a black dating coach have to say that? As if there aren't black men in certain cities and certain situations where they got their shit together, they ready to settle down, and the women in their space don't have what they want, right? They're going by well, there's enough numbers, so black men don't have to hop the fence. But I'm saying, just because the numbers are there don't mean the quality is there, right? So he might feel that way too. But I'm saying, if a black dating coach were to ever be on some Christian cares and stuff, he would not be successful. Black dudes are even scared to even on TV talk about stuff like that. They always bitch out and calm down. And the dudes who are vocal about those type of things will never get mainstream attention or mainstream backing anyways. But that's just my point. Kamala Harris, it already seems like black folks are already getting behind her. She's and she doesn't even have the receipts to be behind in the first place. I'm gonna do a video about this whole conversation that keep coming up about being pro-black with non-black spouses. Giving my take on that pretty soon. But this just was interesting. Seeing that, like, majority of the comments on this post is she's black, even though she's not denied or moved away from the whole moniker, right? The media is saying she's the first Indian congresswoman, right? There's already been a black woman, so it would make sense to give her like the second one or whatever, or another one, right? I guess it's more profound for her to go with the Indian thing. And again, Native Indians have claimed her too in the media. Not American media, but from overseas. They've been doing news reports on her, and I guess they're proud of it. Whatever. It is what it is. But that's just my video. Stay lookout for Kamala Harris. Let's see what she's gonna do. Let's see if black folks are bamboozled again like they were by Obama. You know, we love imagery over implementation. We gotta look at those receipts. Again, and that's more important to me though. Like, I don't care that she's biracial. I don't have anything against anything of that nature. My whole point is, you can't keep calling her black, right? You can't keep giving these titles to people who are the first black to do this, the first black to do that, and they're not even black. That to me would be a disservice to actual black people. So that's irrelevant. That's just how I personally feel. I don't have any ill will towards them or any malice. It's just like, I don't view you as a black woman. You are a mixed race woman. But more importantly than the fact that she's biracial, more importantly than her husband being white, is what are her receipts politically, and what effect can she have on black people who are cheering for her to be the next president, or maybe even a Supreme Court justice. That's more important, her receipts, than who she's screwing and the fact that she's biracial, because she can't do nothing about that. And it seems like we looking at the wrong things. Her being in fucking Kappa, Alpha Phi, whatever, does not grant her blackness, right? The black fraternity that gave that biracial chick that beauty contest, that didn't matter that she's a part of that fraternity. A lot of women were in their feelings because she didn't look like a sister, even though the fraternity was open to biracial women. All right, I'm back. Bam. I don't know so my people. My people are weird. We do some weird shit, like just the qualifiers to make you black other than actually being black. It's just interesting. Like, just reading over more of the comments to that one chick went on her own Facebook page and goes, yeah, Jeff Sessions was hurt. He felt some type of way because he got, grilled by a black woman. Like, she's going with the whole black woman thing. But this is the same woman who had a problem with Byron Allen, right? Again, with the whole, we don't accept black men with non-black wives, but we accept their offspring. Yeah, right? I just don't get it. It's weird. Like, you're black and Republican, you marry a black woman. Nope, coon, get them out of here. You're biracial, you marry non-black. Oh, you pledge Kappa Alpha who? Oh, bring them over here. You're one of us. I don't know. That's just weird. But anyways, I just watched the advice shows. He covered this a little bit, not that long of a video, but of course, he calls her a black woman. I don't know if he's a one-drop ruler or not. He's in the IR. Possibly he views his children as black too. But in the video, he pointed out something that Curtis Scott King, she questioned Jeff Sessions' ability to be AG because he had, a suspected white supremacist past. But yeah, but it's interesting that just more information on some John Madden stats adding shit. That Curtis Scott King also wrote a second letter, like besides that first one, where she urged Congress not to pass legislation that would possibly get a pathway to citizenship for illegal immigrants. Like, because she knew this is back before black people became mascots for other groups. Black people understood that, illegal immigration does not benefit them. But she did that. She urged that. And it's interesting seeing the contrast because Ms. Kamala Harris, she's been very vocal, and her pet project has been making sure illegal immigrants are doing better and have access to things that they shouldn't necessarily be entitled to. But that's interesting. Now, granted, she's in California. That's her district. I'm sure she has to deal with that a lot more than any other demographic other than probably Texas. And with gentrification in San Francisco, and with the gangs and illegal cartels in LA pushing black folks out, she probably really ain't gotta do with black folks too much in her state anyways. Like, they're all leaving from what I see. But that's just interesting that, she's in that predicament where she's getting the black girl magic treatment already. Like, I thought it was going to take some time. I thought she had to do some things to have some accomplishments, you know what I mean? Get some legislation passed, you know what I mean? Filibuster a few times on the floor. You know, I thought she was going to do all that before they started bringing the pom-poms out. Like, I thought that was at least a year out or so. But they already, you know, she's already getting her black girl magic praises and stuff like that. And we not checking receipts, man. We just looking at the imagery over implementation. Yvette Cornell talks about we need a black class. Like, that's not gonna happen. Like, nah. Like, you're not getting that. You know, we are too fucking immature for politics. You just are.
Right by the families. We need to give them papers to be here, and we need to keep our families together. And for the future, we need to make programs. We need to redo our visa programs. I am the co-chair of the Task Force on Immigration for the Congressional Hispanic Caucus. I have worked on these. I have looked for the votes.
Thank you,
It is
Congresswoman
time to
Sanchez.
pass comprehensive immigration reform.
Thank you.
Well, first of all, if you're not Native American, we're all immigrants, so let's start there. And I would say that immigration reform and the need for comprehensive immigration reform is the front and center civil rights issue of our day, and certainly California has an outsized stake in the outcome of this issue. We have more immigrants than any other state in the country, documented and undocumented. And the fact that, that there are folks on this stage and in other places scapegoating our immigrants is really not in the best interest of our country. So here's what I say we have to do. We have to pass comprehensive immigration reform. I know the work that I have done with immigrants in the state of California on this issue, be it getting legal assistance for unaccompanied minors or directing local law enforcement that they should make decisions in the best interest of security for their community, and that does not require them to comply with ICE detainers. And look at this in terms of the impact to our economy. When we pass comprehensive immigration reform in this country, California will benefit within 3 years by $5 billion and 600,000 jobs. It's just the right thing to do, it's the smart thing to do, and we will all benefit from it. Let's stop doing us and them. Let's bring all of these folks out of the shadows into the sunlight and be true to the
Immigration reform.
Thank you.
Well, first of all, if you're not Native American, we're all immigrants, so let's start there.
Immigration reform.
Thank you.
Well, first of all, if you're not Native American, we're all immigrants, so let's start there. And I would say that
Immigration reform.
Thank you.
Well, first of all, if you're not Native American, we're all immigrants, so let's start there. And I would say that immigration reform and the need for comprehensive immigration reform is the front and center civil rights issue of our day, and certainly California has an outsized
of immigrants. America is a nation of immigrants. America is a nation of immigrants. That's our strength. Unless you are one of the first Americans, unless you are a Native American, somebody somewhere in your past showed up from someplace else. And they didn't always have papers. And